Do you remember, I know you do, but hopefully everybody here does too, the amazing story that we showed, that precious, precious little 8-year-old boy who is suffering from a brain disease of some sort.
Yes.
And he received a letter from Trump in the mail and was so overcome and precious and joyful about it. It was the most darling thing.
Yep.
And he was backstage at this latest rally. And so now we have some footage of Trump giving him a Trump hat and meeting him. And I think he's just so overcome. Like, he is starstruck, you guys. It's so precious.
Where's our beautiful lady? Even though I'm supposed to be in the stage here, I'm supposed to be in that stage, but that doesn't matter. Because I can be the best president you'll ever have. It's the best president you'll ever have.
It's tremendous.
And Indian is real good stuff. Okay?
Look at him.
See, look at that. Look at these great out here. We're going to put that picture on, okay?
He's darling.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
He's just precious. Look at his
He's so
face.
overwhelmed.
He's like, oh my gosh, that's the real Donald Trump.
You take care of mom and dad. Visit your sister. Okay.
Scared us a lot of gray hair.
So cute.
Actually, I don't know if it was a hat. I don't know what he got. I think it was that hat, though.
So cute. It's too big for his little head.
I know. He's just the most precious
Precious.
thing ever.
Mhm.
And then this amazing story that was going around socials yesterday from a fellow who has a tale to tell about Trump's dad and how what the Trump family means to him. And this was the sweetest.
I have an amazing story to tell you real quick about what President Trump's father, Fred Trump, did for myself, for my brother, for my sister, for my mother. 1974, my dad suffered a major heart attack. I went to the same school as Donald Trump, the Q Forest School. 3 days after my father's burial, there was a knock on the door one school morning, 7 a.m. I answered the door. It's a distinguished gentleman. I was 10 years old. My father just died. The gentleman said, kid, call your mom. I called my mom from upstairs. She came down. Gentleman said to my mom, I am Fred Trump, Donald's father. And my mom says, yes, I know Donald went to the Q Forest School. And Mr. Fred Trump said to my mom, yes, Mrs. Rem, very sorry about Joseph's death. And what you don't know is I'm still on the Board of Trustees at the Q Forest School. And this morning, I let Headmaster Mr. Philip Rogers know that from this day forward, myself, Fred Trump, out of my own pocket, is going to pay for your 3 children's tuition because I don't want the kids have to go back into the public school system. And the tuition in 1974 was $2,500 per child, $7,500, which is about $80,000, $100,000 in today's money.
Wow.
And who would do that except the President Trump's father? The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, and they give the Trump family grief. The Trump family is a wonderful family, the entire family, sorry. And who else? Can you picture Joseph Biden or Kamala Harris doing that? No. All they care about is buying another mansion. I'm going to tell you, the Trump family is wonderful. I love you, Donald. I wish I could shake your hand. It was my mother's last dying wish to shake your hand and to thank your father, Fred Trump, for what he did for us kids in 1974 in Forest Hills, New York. I love you, President.
Thank you for
God
sharing
bless
that. Thank
him.
you so much for sharing that with
That's very, very sweet. Yeah, there are a lot of stories like that floating around on the internet. You got to go find them because the media is not going to tell you about him. But there are a lot of stories about his generosity. I mean, I remember there was a story about him, and remember Jennifer Hudson, like some sort of, he took her in or took her and her family in or something like that because it's something like her house burned down or something like that. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and she never talks about it. Like it's, and she's a celebrity, but he did something for her that was really tremendous. And it kind of irritates me that people don't talk about that kind of stuff more. You just hear the bad stuff about him. And he's a very generous man. That family is a very generous family. So yeah, somebody said her brother was murdered. her brother or mother or something like that. Yeah,
I remember that. I just didn't know what his role in that.
He helped her. He helped her. And it kind of irritates me a little bit that you don't hear from her more.
Right.
And saying he helped me when my family had, a lot of horrible things happen to it. So, yeah.
We also have to just briefly remind you that the market is going to be crazy. Interest rates are going down. Things are being set in motion because things are tumultuous, not because things are in good shape, as the Biden administration would like to tell you. They'd like you to believe, oh, we're taking things down a 0.5 percentage point because of how great things are. No, it's not because of that. And things are about to get really, really weird. This is the best time. I promise you, the best time. We just talked to Zach Abraham yesterday. It is the best time to protect your savings and learn how precious metals can help protect your savings. So if you don't have precious metals as part of your overall saving strategy, now is the time to get educated about that. There is no one better to teach you than our friend and sponsor at Birch Gold. You can get a free information kit from them just by texting the word chicks to 989898. And there's no obligation. They're just going to give you piles of information, which is super easy to understand, and give you the options about how you can invest either a part of or all of, maybe just an IRA that you have sitting around that you don't know what to do with. Just consider it. Consider learning, because the learning part is super, super essential, and they do a great job at it. So again, text the word chicks to 989898. Well, and there was, we played some clips from his appearance on the Gutfeld show yesterday, but there's this one that was not aired during the actual Gutfeld show that was really cute. Just another example of when Trump is in this sort of setting, that's when his personality really shines through. And he's just a regular guy, right? Like he's just a regular, sweet, funny guy. And this was a question from Greg about his high school experience. Here it is.
All right. So last night we had so many great moments with Donald Trump that we couldn't fit it all into one show, hence the lube. Here's that part you didn't get to see. What is your fondest and not so fondest memory of high school?
I loved high school. I loved sports in high school. I loved playing sports. I had a couple of things where you get in a little trouble. I was aggressive. By the way, when you look at the aggression of kids in schools today where they throw teachers out the window, we're not talking about that. But I hated getting in trouble because I hated when they call my father and mother and say, he's not really behaving so well. I hated it. But I loved the camaraderie. I had a lot of great friends from high school.
Yeah.
You don't see him often, but one came up to my office the other day. He was a great-looking guy. Women loved him. Most beautiful-looking guy you've ever seen. And I hadn't seen him in many years. And I said to the people in the office, the women especially, when you see this guy, how he looks. He was a football player. He was a great football player, actually. But he had everything. And the women loved him. And he walked into my office, and I said, oh. It was not a pretty sight. Man, did he take a beating? Now, he may look at me and say he hasn't aged well.
Yes.
But this guy has not aged well, but he was a nice guy anyway.
I got one last question. Has your heart ever been broken?
Oh, wow, that's such a question. I hate to admit it. Am I allowed to admit it?
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, look, I've had situations where it was devastating. Mm-hmm. I don't want to use the word broken. I just can't do that. I'm your president. I'm not supposed to have a heart that's broken.
Right. I love it.
He's not sitting in my chair.
That's right.
I love that. That's so great.